Alright lads, what we're going to do today is take a look at Ruhan, my Jujutsu You Did This For Yourself deck. I've made too many changes over the past couple weeks without considering the holistic effect on the deck. Added things as experiments, added things that don't really advance my game plan or lack thereof. So let's take a look and see what I should take out, what I should replace to put him back where he's supposed to be. So what is he supposed to be? Right, you look at Ruhan, well, Sheldon Minari, Sheldon the Commander, which is Ruhan of the Fomori. He is a one colorless, one blue, red, and white giant warrior, 7/7. He's got pretty good stats for his mana cost, but he has to attack every turn random. You don't get a choice. You have to attack somebody airman. So even if you don't want to attack anybody, he says, fuck you, I want to punch somebody in the face. And he's got no evasion. He's got no trample, no first strike, double strike, death touch, flying, nothing. He just goes out swinging. And he's kind of a puppet commander because I don't often cast him. Usually he just sits in the command zone looking cool, threatening people. So let's take a look at what needs to stay, what he's supposed to do. So the play pattern is that it's a control play pattern, but it's not really a control deck, which could be a tough concept to fully appreciate. So the idea is I will not be playing that many creatures. I'm not making tokens. I'm not really going wide and attacking. I'm not really Voltroning up Sheldon and attacking. I'm punishing people for doing what they want to do. I'm punishing people for attacking me. Settle the Wreckage, this definitely stays. 2 colorless, double white. Exile all attacking creatures target player controls. And unlike a lot of the cards that prevent damage, this doesn't only affect you. So a lot of the cards that I have in here to prevent combat damage say prevent combat damage to you. Not to your planeswalkers, not to your creatures, to you. So if somebody's attacking my planeswalker, I can't do anything about it with a lot of these damage prevention effects. So I've been adjusting those because I only have 2 planeswalkers in the deck, and I kind of rely on the Wanderer. Settle the Wreckage, though, so it doesn't matter who the player is attacking. Cube could be attacking Long Pete, and with a huge Tyranid army. And it's not so much that I want to save Long Pete because I want to win the game, but I don't want that Tyranid army coming at me next. So I settle Cube's Wreckage. All his attacking creatures, poof, gone, and he finds lands. And then, it's funny that this is the next card up. Acidic Soil. And this punishes people for ramping. You know those guys that ramp play 2-3 lands every turn? Ramp. You hit them with Acidic Soil, 2 and a red. They take 1 damage for each land they control. Well, everybody does. I've got ways to mitigate it, but I have killed people with this card before. I have, over the course of the game, people punch into each other. Dude gets down to about, 11-10 life, and he's got 11-12 lands, and he casts Acidic Soil, and he just goes, oh, that sucks. So that's a good card. That definitely stays. Stunt Double. This is actually going to be swapped out once a new order comes in. So I ordered this, I think it's called a Mocking Doppelganger. Mocking Doppelganger is a 3 colorless, 1 blue clone. It's basically Stunt Double, except you can only copy a creature your opponents control, and that creature is goaded for as long as the Mocking Doppelganger is in play. So that suits the game plan better. I really don't care about copying my creatures, so I don't need the ability to copy any creature in the battlefield. Now, there are times when I would want to. I'll be clear, but overall, this is really somebody cast Kozilek, Butcher Truth, Blightsteel Colossus, Archangel Labs, something really big and nasty. So I can copy it, And if I have Mocking Doppelganger instead of Stunt Double, I copy it, and that other creature is goaded. So it can't attack me, so it solves two problems. It gives me something big and nasty too, and it makes sure that the original creature will not be coming at me. So this will get replaced once that order comes in. Goblin Flectomancer, blue double red for a 2/2 Goblin Wizard. I can sacrifice him and change the target to target instant or sorcery spell. Or targets. So I've not really made use of him. I've only had him in play once. Out of all the times I've been running this deck, he's only popped up, only drawn him once, cast him, and because of the way the game was going, nothing really happened. I couldn't really do anything with him. That said, I do want to keep him in the deck because he is still potentially useful. Blue Sun Zenith, triple blue, X. Target player draws X cards, shuffle it back into its owner's library, so you can do it again. This is good in the clutch. This is a good card. It's proven its value in the deck. It doesn't advance my game plan. It doesn't kill anybody, but it gets me the things that, or closer to things, hopefully, that should kill somebody. I need to take a look at my mana base, so I'll be putting those here because I need to make sure it's still... one of the things that you do whenever you're changing your deck, and this is a pretty common oversight, so you swap out cards, but you don't consider your mana base. So over time, say with Sheldon, if I put in more white cards and take out red or red tinged cards for them, then I need to adjust the mana base accordingly because I'll require more red. I'm not sure if that's the case, but I'll be taking a look at that. Blasphemous Act, 8 in a red. So one of the sub-themes of the deck is kill all the creatures. I'm not going to have that many creatures. That's just the way the deck works. But other people will. And they'll be coming at me, so I need to stop that. So Blasphemous Act, it costs at minimum 8 mana. I mean, there's a possibility you would want. There's only one creature in the battlefield, but you need to kill it. You need to kill it dead. So you pay 8 mana because it gets reduced by 1. 8 mana to deal 13 points of damage to it. Now, if it's the only creature, it could be indestructible or something, and Blasphemous Act isn't going to do shit to it. But against Token Horde, oh my god, it just wipes the board. Dawn's Truce. 1 in white, give somebody a card, and your permanents gain hexproof in it. So basically, this is invoke. What is it? Heroic Intervention. This is just a white Heroic Intervention where one of your opponents gets a card. Sun Titan. Oh, I like Sun Titan. I like him a lot. 4 double white, 6/6 Vigilant Giant. Whenever he comes into player attacks, I can return a permanent with CMC 3 or less from graveyard to the battlefield. Now, again, he's not really advancing my game plan, but he is allowing me to get things back that will be destroyed, like this Sun Forger. This Sun Forger will get destroyed. People just don't like it. And this is something else I need to look at. The balance of the deck is, so 3 to cast it, equip creature gets +4/+0, but that really doesn't matter. What matters is the red-white, unattach it from the creature, go find a red or white instant with CMC 4 less, and play without paying its mana cost. I need to look at more instants. I need to look at more cards that this can go after. So, as a sub-game, let's put Sun Forger there, and we'll put all of its potential targets that I find in the same pile so I can see how many I have as Sheldon falls down. Alright, Ether Eyes. So again, this is a protection spell. And there goes the fucking battery. Alright, so we were talking about Ether Eyes being a protection spell. 3 colors, 1 blue, return all attacking creatures to their owner's hands. Of course, this doesn't have to protect just you. This can protect somebody else as well. So that has proven its value. Gossamer Chains. So this double white, return it to owner's hand, and target unblocked creature deals no combat damage this turn. I'm not sure if I want to, I mean, this does, it's a preemptive instant, and it stops one unblocked creature from dealing damage, and it doesn't have to be to me. So this is another political, I'll keep it for the political aspect. So let's say Long Pete is returning fire and attacking Cube, and I make a deal with Cube. I say, hey, if I protect you from the big bad boy, what are you going to do for me? And we'll make a deal. And I'll protect him. And then for 2 white, I can cast it next turn. Okay, lands go there. Gisela, Blade of Gold Knight. So she's pretty expensive in the deck. I think she's the top of the mana curve. 4, 1 red, double white, 5/5, flying first strike. Legendary Angel. Doubles the damage my stuff deals. Cuts in half. No, doubles the damage. I always, because I think kind of my side of the board and what's going on, I forget that she doubles the damage that would be dealt to everything my opponents control and to them. And she cuts in half all damage dealt to me. So because she makes my opponent's creatures much better against each other, my opponent's spells much better against them, you know, if they want to start hitting each other, she's pretty good. Encourages them to start attacking each other. Of course, also encourages them to exile her or get rid of her somehow, but still. Soulfire Grandmaster. Oh, I love this guy. This guy's great. This guy makes me want to put more damage spells in the deck. Did I miss? No, I was just checking the that pile. 1 and a white for a 2/2 human monk, lifelink. Instant and sorcery spells you control have lifelink. So the Blasphemous Act can give me a lot of life. 2, double blue, double red. Next time you cast an instant or sorcery spell from your hand this turn, put it back in your hand instead of into your graveyard as it resolves. One time with Acidic Soil, I cast it for 7. Paid 2 and a red to cast it. 2 and double blue, some combination. I had it. Put the Acidic Soil back in my hand, and next turn I cast it again and killed somebody. So, and again, a bunch of life. It negated the damage dealt to me by Acidic Soil because of the lifelink, and I gain life off what it's doing to my opponents. Dawn Charm, 1 and a white. Pick one. Fog, or generate target creature, counterspell that targets you. Again, the you. But it fogs, prevents all combat damage that we would dealt this turn. So it doesn't have to be to you. So Sunforger can find that. Mountain. Boral's Fury Shield. Sunforger can find this, but this I really want to cast. 2 and a white. Fog. Well, not fog. Prevent all damage that would be dealt by a target attacking or blocking creature this turn. And if red was spent to play it, it deals Boral's Fury Shield, this instant, deals that much damage to the creature's controller, equal to the creature's power. So if I have the Soulfire Grandmaster, if I cast Boral's Fury Shield, I'll get some life off that too if I pay 1 red. Cool. I'm making a video.
Yes,
yeah.
I know.
Okay.
You are so determined, you know.
Well, it's fun.
My husband is very determined.
Yeah.
I need to know the world, to let the world know.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
He's been doing that for such a long time.
Just a couple years.
Yeah. Well done, Tata.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. This was a suggestion by, I can't properly credit him because I can't remember exactly which of our housemates said this, but I was looking at ways to reuse creatures in the graveyard. And he said, why don't you play Felton the Third Path? and I looked up Felden Third Path to remind myself what he did, because I knew about him, but I didn't really think much about him. And I read it, and I thought, yep, that is exactly what this deck needs. Suits me down to the ground. So 1 double red for a 2/3 human artificier. 2 red tap. Create a token that's a copy of a creature card in graveyard, except it's an artifact, it gains haste, and you sack at the beginning of the next end step. So, there's a lot of targets for this. I mean, just right off, I can instantly create a Sun Titan and get something back. Flectomancer, sacrifice it, change the targets. This will be replaced for Mocking Doppelganger. Put her in play. Of course, putting a Mocking Doppelganger token into play isn't really going to do much over the course of the game, because she'll be sacrificed at the end of the turn, but it will goad that creature at least that turn. So I haven't made use of him yet. He's a relatively new addition to the deck, but I think he'll be good. The Wanderer. Oh, she's fucking perfect. I love this girl in this deck. 3 and a white. Prevent all non-combat damage to be dealt to you and other permanents you control. Neg 2. Exile creature with power 4 or greater. So Q was playing his Grayson Starn deck, and he couldn't do any damage to me, because the deck relies on doing non-combat damage. 1 point to your opponents, 1 point to their creatures, and then Grayson Starn makes it into 2. Grayson Starn turns 1 point pings into lightning bolts. And because of the Wanderer, she completely shut that off. Now, we were playing a 4-man game, and Long Pete, he was also saved by the Wanderer, because Cube could take him out. Cube can do some real damage and wipe his board, take him out, but then he has to face me all by himself. So, the Wanderer was keeping keeping Long Pete alive too. It's pretty funny. There's a land, Sulfur Falls into land, Dualcaster Mage. I haven't had this guy work. I haven't had this guy actually do what he's supposed to do, but the threat is there. The possibility is there. It's just, the game has shifted somewhat. Trinket Mage had a video a couple days ago where he talked about everything's a sorcery now. Everything, all these creatures that come into play and do something. Dualcaster Mage is a perfect example. Dualcaster Mage is a fork stapled to a 2/2 creature. He is. Reclamation Sage is a regrowth stapled to a 2/1 elf, and so on and so forth. So you've got all these creatures that are essentially sorcerer, or he's an instant. You get the spell effect, the sorcery effect, the instant effect, plus the value of the creature. So, as you've probably noticed, you've been playing for a while, people are playing fewer and fewer instants and sorceries, because creatures can do it, so why wouldn't you? So that's why he doesn't really do that much sometimes. He sits in my hand waiting, and sometimes there's something that I can copy. For example, one time I know I copied a Cultivate. He'd just been in my hand. I knew that the deck, I forget who was playing it, but I knew that they were playing a creature-heavy deck, weren't going to have any really interesting instants or sorcerers for me to copy. So I just copied the Cultivate so I can get more lands. Island, Triome, Refuse. This is something I thought about taking out too. Sheldon's original deck had about 2 or 3 of these effects. So Refuse, 3 in red, instant. Does damage equal to target spell's controller. Does damage to target spell's controller equal to that spell's CMC? So somebody casts something for 8, they take 8 damage, cast something for 6 damage, and so on. And then Cooperate, 2 in a blue, you can pull out a graveyard. If it has to be in your graveyard, then you exile the whole spell, and you twin cast. Copy an instant or sorcery spell. I was thinking taking this out because I had not seen the utility of it, but then there's a game where it killed somebody. Cube is down to 6 life. He cast a 6-mana spell, and I refused it, and he died. So I kept it in the deck. It's still valuable. That said, this is something that Sunforger can find. This is another reason to go through this exercise. This is another reason for me to do this, because I sometimes forget about the Sunforger target possibilities. And in the heat of the moment, there was a time when I unattached Sunforger to go find something to save my ass. And I completely overlooked a card, because I just did not see it in the pressure and the heat of the moment. That's the card I needed, and I got something else entirely. I forget exactly what it was, but I should have grabbed another card. So it's good to remember kind of the targets. Confounding Conundrum. 1 in a blue. When it comes to play, draw a card. Whenever land comes to play under an opponent's control, they had another land come into play under their control this turn. They bounce, so they can only play 1 land per turn. This punishes big ramp decks. So if somebody has, say, Cultivate, cracking fetch lands like mad. They play the fetch land, and if they want to crack it, they have to bounce a land back. So it keeps them in check, keeps the ramp decks in check. And that's kind of the thing of the deck. That's kind of what Sheldon does, is he keeps the other decks honest as I'm setting up my game plan, setting up for my win. Mystic Sanctuary, an island, comes into play as long as I have 3 or more other islands. I need to enunciate my words. I can return an instant or sorcery back to the top of my library. Thespian Sage. usually I play it, and then at the end of the turn of the opponent preceding me, I normally copy the Triumph. I normally copy Mystic Sanctuary. That's usually what ends up happening. It's there in case somebody plays something interesting like Gaia's Cradle, but none of my mates play those cards. I'm the only one that does in our group because I've been playing so long. But the possibilities there, and it's low-hanging fruit. Mirror Maid, 1 double blue, comes into play as a copy of any artifact or enchantment on the battlefield. So the best thing this has ever done was copy an Ether Flash, so creatures coming into play take 4 points of damage, not 2. That said, it just doesn't really do anything. Most of the time, copying an artifact or enchantment, there are times I want to do it, but there are not so many. So I think I'll take this as a possible cut. Boros Reckoner, triple blue, triple white hybrid, 3/3 Minotaur Wizard. Whenever he's dealt damage, deals that much damage to target creature or player. So if I cast Blasphemous Act with him on the field, I can redirect, well, not redirect, but he can also do 13 points of damage to somebody else. There's a bit of dust card, there we go. And for red white, I can give first strike. Now he's tricky because I haven't really figured out exactly what he's supposed to do in the deck. I'm still working through that. The Blasphemous Act example is one of the things that he's here for. Somebody else casts Blasphemous Act, then he can punish them for it. But he doesn't feel like he's pulling his weight. He doesn't feel like he's fully earning a slot, but I keep him in because of the potential. Because I think it's my problem. I think I'm not the one utilizing him correctly. Commander Sphere, 3 colorless, drop it down, tap it for mana, sack it for a card. It's pretty basic. It's solid. It does what it does. And I've taken out the other. I had Boros, and I had all the lockets in here. And I took them out because I wasn't really using them because they cost 4 mana to activate, 4 mana to sack, and draw 2 cards. This is no mana, and it can be tapped. Because it doesn't a tap sacrifice, it just says sacrifice. So it can be tapped, you can sacrifice and get a card. Neat. Illusory Ambusher, 4 and a blue, and I was thinking of taking this out, but then the same guy that turned me on to Felden's Third Path said, you know, there's a really good interaction with the Ambusher and Felden. I was like, you're right, I can't deny that. So the Ambusher, 4 and a blue, 4/1 flashy kitty cat, but he's only an illusion kitty cat. He's not a real kitty cat. He's only an impression, a dream, an image of a kitty cat. Flashes into play whenever he's dealt damage from the many cards. So he's going to die. He's only 4/1. He's deader than disco when he gets hit. And with Felden Third Path, I can instantly create a copy of him, and that copy will die, and I'll draw cards. Because it's when he's dealt damage. Humility. Yes. Screw you and screw your creatures. 2 colorless, double white. All creatures lose all abilities and becomes a 1/1 creature. Now, keep in mind, this also fucks up swords. This also fucks up most equipment, because equipment normally says this creature gains trample. Equipped creature gains first strike. Equipped creature gains protect, whatever. Well, they lose that. Anything that gives the creature an ability, Heliod's Dictate of Heliod, flash into play, your creatures gain +2/+2. Well, it's granting that ability, and humility takes it away. Solemn Simulacrum. He's just solid. He just does what he does. Comes into play, finds a land, dies, draws a card. Flooded Strand. Did I put any land in this pile? I'm trying to keep the piles together. Did I put any instants or sorceries in this? Nope. Okay. So far, so good. Excuse me. Days and Doing. 2 and a blue. Everybody shuffles their hand, graveyard, library together, draw 70 cards for the price of 3. But then you end the turn, so you can't cast anything. This is another reason to have so many instants in the deck, is so that after I cast it, I can't do anything. I can't play any lands. I just say pass turn. But then if I've drawn some instants that do something, I'll have them in my hand. That's kind of the idea of this, plus a cheap way to get more cards. That said, I've been thinking about replacing this with Echo of Eons. Echo of Eons costs 4 colorless, double blue, but it doesn't end your turn, and it goes in your graveyard. So Echo of Eons sits in your graveyard, and you can flash it back for 2 and a blue. It becomes Time Twister for 1 turn. It's a fixed Time Twister. But it is nice to have a inexpensive card that does this without having to be in the graveyard. So I'll put this in the consideration pile. Looking at the land. Ooh, Final Showdown. Oh yeah. Oh, this is so nice. And it still surprises me. I've cast it 2 or 3 times, and still, when I cast it, people, wait, you have an instant speed board wipe? And I say, yeah, there's another one. There's Catastrophe. I could use that, but this is this is more assured. 1 to get it started. 1 white. +1. All creatures lose all humility until end turn. And then +1. Choose a creature you control, and it gains indestructible until end turn. And then 3 double white destroy creatures. So for 8 mana, you can destroy all creatures except one of yours because of the order of operations. First, they lose all abilities, and then you give one an ability back, and then BAM! You drop a nuke. Now, this should go in the instant or sorcery pile, but because I cannot spree off the Sunforger, it'll stay here. I'm only looking at Sunforger targets. Elixir of Immortality. 1 colorless, 2 tap, you gain 5 life, shuffle it in your graveyard into... To be honest, I should probably replace this with Echo of Eons, because I really want it for the effect of shuffling my graveyard back into my library. The 5 life is nice, but I'm really looking at it as a way of shuffling my graveyard back into my library so I can reuse my instance. I can get things back because of the way the deck works. And if I put in Echo of Eons, then I'm not only shuffling my graveyard back into my library to recycle things, I'm also drawing 7 new cards. Okay, I think that's what I'll do there. So, good exercise so far. Land ducks. Beginning of upkeep, if an opponent controls more lands than you, go find up to 3 basic land cards, show them to everybody, put them in your hand, and then shuffle your library. This card is proven so. Because, again, stupid cat knocked over my keyboard. He doesn't know what a keyboard is, he's just a cat. Right? For him, it's just something he can put his foot on and then wonder why the hell it's moving. Where was I? Lentex. So the deck, it's kind of draw go. Play land and back up an instant. Maybe I'll play a creature, but because of the colors, I don't have much ramp. I do need lands. It is pretty mana hungry because I need to have the mana up to cast instants. I need the mana up to do things. I don't want to Blue Sun Zenith for 2 cards. I want to Blue Sun Zenith for a bit more than that. So this helps me get those lands. Plus, if I always pull 3 lands, let's say I have 6 cards in my hand at the beginning of the turn, I pull 3 lands. I now have 9 cards, then I draw, and then I play a land, and maybe I play something. So I still have to discard at the end of my turn. Discard a couple of those lands, and I'm filtering out the lands from the deck, the basic lands, so I can get to the more interesting cards like this guy. 2 and a white, 2 double white, sorry, 2 and white. 2/2 cleric. When he dies, exile all creatures. Notice the wording. So it doesn't say when he takes lethal damage, exile all creatures. It says when he's in the graveyard. He's sitting in the graveyard, and he, as the dirt is being tossed onto his lifeless body, his spirit comes out and says, exile all creatures. And then he crooks. So if I can pull him out of the graveyard somehow, or make an instant token somehow, I can do it again. Yeah, I laugh at my own jokes. Chain reaction. 2 double white. Does X damage each creature, X the number of creatures in the battlefield. This is a sorcery, so Southern Forger will not pull it out. I did have Solar Blast. So Solar Blast says all creatures punch themselves in the face. I should put that back in. The reason I took it out is I was making the unplanned, unthought through changes to the deck, and I took out Solar Blaze for something else. And it was either Solar Blaze or Chain Reaction. I kept Chain Reaction because it's more sure. Solar Blaze, every creature punches itself in the face. So any creature with higher toughness and power will not die. Chain Reaction says if there's 10 creatures, they better be bigger than 10/10 because they're all going to die if they're not, unless they're indestructible or some bullshit. Protection, because it's a red spell, so they got protection from red. They take no damage. Kutsil's Flanker. 2 and a white. Flashes into play. Choose 1. Put a +1/+. Again. Who cares about that? That doesn't matter in this deck. Gain 2 life. Scry 2. I have used it for that. Exile target player's graveyard. To be fair, and it's not as neat and elegant, but he's not really fitting the deck. He's here really to exile somebody's graveyard, exile a graveyard strategy. But the lads I play with, there's only a couple of them playing any kind of graveyard deck, and they don't play it that often. And it could be that if I replace Elixir of Immortality with Echo of Eons, so Echo of Eons will take away their graveyard. Now, it doesn't get rid of the cards, so they can do it all over again, but they have to go through all the steps to refill the graveyard. So maybe I'll take him out for something else. I don't know what. Take him out because Echo Vions and Days of Doing, and Echo Vions, remember, it has flash or flashback, so I can do it twice. So I would have 3 of those effects in net. Solemnity. I put this in just as an experiment, and it works. It works against very narrow specific decks, which are going to become more popular because of that new Eldraine counters deck, the anti-ward, I think it is. So 2 and a black, 2 and a white, players can't get counters. Counters can't be put in artifacts, creatures, enchantments, or lands. This doesn't really do anything else, though. This, let's run through. What does this stop? This stops Cube's Radiation deck. This stops Mothman. This stops Poison. This stops the Negwin counters deck. This stops any deck where you're going to put +1/+1 counters on your creatures. This stops artifacts from getting counters, from getting charge counters or anything. I replaced Glittering Stockpile with this because this shuts off Glittering Stockpile. So I haven't really explored how good this is. But this is kind of the deck where I run those experiments to see that. So I'll keep it in for now. Elspeth Sunshine, she just doesn't come up. I don't think I've ever cast her in this deck. So what is she here for? 4 double white. 4 loyalty planeswalker. I can get 3 1/white soldiers. Okay, if I have either flash, they're going to die. But at least I can pump her up. Give her more loyalty. I can neg 3 and destroy a creature's power 4 or greater, which is probably what I want to do. And then I can get the emblem. Creatures you control get +2/+2 and have flying. So if humility is out, they will lose that +2/+2 and flying. But that's equalizing the board for everybody else, and the 3 1/1 white soldiers will be on par with all the other nerfed creatures. So I'll keep her in land. Sheldon, just stand up. This card worked out really well. Really well. I'm quite happy with it. Incite Rebellion. 4 double red. For each player, Incite Rebellion deals damage to that player and all their creatures equal to the number of creatures they control. So if dude has 8 creatures, he's taking 8 damage, all his creatures taking 8 damage, so it pretty much wipes the board and punches people in the face. And given that usually at the most creatures I've ever had out in this deck, the most is 4. So I'm taking 4. And if one of them is a Soulfire Grandmaster, I'm getting a bunch of life. Here's the command tower. This is the Sheldon. It's beautiful. The Sheldon area command tower. Reflecting Pool, Plains, Arcane Signet. To add 1. If I have a Tithe, maybe Tithe would be better in this deck. If I have some way of getting the lands down. I've started rethinking the Meta Rocks. Started rethinking which ones and what they're doing. So I'm going to think about Arcane Signet. Maybe I don't really need it that much anymore. Arcane Mentor's map. 2 and a white. Comes into play. Go find 2 basic planes. Basic. They have to be basic. Why the fuck does they have to put the word basic there? Those assholes. But whenever a land comes into play under opponent's control, if that player controls more lands than you, you can put a land card from your hand into play. It's bang, done. And that's ramped me pretty quickly before. Especially if I have 3 opponents and one of them is playing green. Because I can hold back land and make sure that I'll be a little bit behind. Now eventually I'll catch up. Eventually this will shut off. But because if I keep drawing cards, keep playing lands, then at some point maybe I should put in a way to sacrifice artifacts for value. But anyway, this has earned its slot. Mandate of Peace. 1 in white. Cast only during combat. Your opponents can't cast spells this turn in the combat phase. So this is a one-trick pony. It gets exiled as part of the resolution. So I can find it with Sunforger. Dazzling Reflection. 1 and a white. You gain life equal to our creature's power. Next time the creature deals damage this turn, prevent that damage. This again is a Sunforger target. Horizon of Progress. City of Brass. 3 tap. Put a land from your hand on the battlefield tapped. So another way of getting more lands down. And then you can sack it for a card if you need to. Aura Thief. I'm not really sure if I need him anymore. But the thing is, there are so many random enchantments that would be fun to take that I keep him in here. Plus he's a 2/2 flyer, so he can block. 3 and a blue, 2/2 flyer. When he dies, you gain control of all enchantments. So he's interesting, really interesting. Narrow. Let's keep him in here. Hibernation. Oh yeah, this is definitely staying. 2 and a blue. Bounce all green shit back to its owner's hand. How many squirrels are you attacking with? 65? How big are they? 29, 29? Boing! They go home. Try again next turn. Married Landscape comes into play tapped. Go find 2 basic lands. Share basic land time. Yeah. Smirking Spelljacker. I did get her down. Got her down and she immediately got killed. I could have saved her with Dawn's Truce, but I thought I should save it for something else, so I hung on to it instead of saving her, which I don't know if that was a good decision or not. I would have gotten a nasty creature out of it. But because she exiled the nasty creature, when Cube killed her, he didn't get the nasty creature back. Of course, if I'd attacked with her, I would have got the nasty creature. But then, if it dies, it goes to his graveyard, and he could have pulled. So it's kind of 6 and 1/2 dozen of the other, whether or not that was the correct play. But anyway, she's good. 4 and a blue, 3/3, flashy flying, Djinn Wizard Rogue. Comes to play, exile spell an opponent controls, and then if she attacks and there's something exiled with her, you can recast it for free. For free. I like free. Reigns of Power. This is a funny protection spell. This is just a funny spell. I've not fully explored its full uses. I've not really used it enough to appreciate everything it can offer. So it's a weird old card from Stronghold, and it does weird things. So 2 double blue, instant. You and target opponent each untap and gain control of all creatures the other controls until end of turn. Those creatures have haste. So, if somebody's attacking you with a big army, you can Reigns of Power and switch. So they gain your creatures, whatever you have. You gain their creatures. They have already attacked, so they no longer have a combat phase, so those creatures cannot attack you. So in that, it just becomes a fog. Or if you're playing, you've got a 3-man game going, and the other 3 lads have some interesting creatures. Somebody attacks you. You can attack somebody else's creatures, take them, and start blocking the guy that was attacking you with them. So you're cutting down 2 opponents for the price of 1. Or, if somebody is kind of open and somebody else has a big army, you can steal the army and attack the guy. A lot of possibilities. I should have thought about this card sooner. So it stays. Land Light Mine Field. And that's another thing. If you've got Light Mine Field out and Reigns of Power, so you can grab somebody's army and you can run them all through the Light Mine Field, which should kill a lot of them, depending on how many they have in their power and toughness. So Light Mine Field, 2 double white. Whenever 1 or more creatures attack, the field does damage equal to those creatures, equal to the number of attacking creatures. So if you're attacking with 6 creatures, they all take 6 points of damage. That usually wipes out little small armies. The other thing it does is it prevents those armies from attacking you, attacking anybody, because it doesn't matter if they attack you or somebody else. The light minefield protects us all. It also makes it so my creatures have to run across it, but that's a risk I'm willing to take. Glacial Fortress. Ether Flash. 2 double red. Whenever any creature comes to play, Ether Flash does 2 damage to that creature. Yes, I have had this out with Humility, meaning the game just stalled, stuck. Until somebody gets rid of Humility or Ether Flash, it doesn't matter about the creatures. They come into play, they lose all, become 1/1, and die. Take 2 points, they just die. So, this slows the game down enough for me to play more lands and advance my position. To do what I'm going to do. This card is surprisingly good. This card, I originally put it in just as a lark. I thought, okay, I'll put this junk card in. I love the art. I like the way the card looks. I like the appearance. But I thought, yeah, it's just going to be some trash. So 3 in red. Stage 1. Gain control of the target creature for as long as the current war is on the battlefield. Alright, so far so good. Stage 2. Until your next turn, creatures your opponents control attack each combated fable. And if you've got a light minefield, that becomes much more interesting. Stage 3. Each tapped creature punches itself in the face. So, your opponent's creatures have to attack. Most of them are going to tap because they don't have vigilance, and then they're all going to punch themselves in the face. Now keep in mind that because of the order of operations, the creature you gain control of, when this takes effect, it will not punch itself in the face because this will happen after you untap. So this triggers during your draw step. So the creature will untap, it will not punch itself in the face. Excuse me. Therefore, if it's still surviving as this effect happens and you destroy their current war, you will have to give it back. So just keep that in mind. If it's something you don't want to give back, you better figure out a way to kill it. Skyclave Relic. Yeah, I'm going to keep this rock in. 3 colorless, kicker 3, so 6 mana, and I get 3 of them. For 6 mana, I get 3 Darksteel ingots. For 3 mana, I just get 1 Darksteel ingot. So there's a lot of utility in this game. Early in the game, it's a Darksteel ingot. Later in the game, it's more ramp. Chaos Warp. I can actually find this with Sunforger. 2 in a red, instantly target. This is another card. There's a lot. See, I've been playing for a long time. And at a certain point, my decks solidify. They calcify. They stop changing because I have so many old cards that I haven't fully explored because I only play once a week and I've got so many decks. So there's cards that years ago, this came in a couple precons, so everybody running those precons was playing this, so you saw Chaos Warp all the time, and then it just fell off. It became unpopular. Nobody really plays it anymore. So anyway, the owner of target permanent shuffles it into the library, then shows off the top card of the library. If it's a permanent card, they have to put it on the battlefield. It's not a may, they have to. So even if it's something that they have, they require a combo or they require some protection they don't really want now, they have to put into play. Not a very likely occurrence, a small chance, but it is a chance that they'll put something into play that they really don't want right now. So Sunforger can find Chaos Warp. Sunforger can also find Comeuppance. This Comeuppance is just weird. So 3 and a white. Comeuppance. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to you and planeswalkers. So this protects my planeswalkers too. By sources I do not control. If damage from a creature is prevented this way, Comeuppance deals that much damage to all those Muppets. So if you're being attacked by 4 4/4s, you play Comeuppance and they all take 4 points of damage. Should kill them. If a non-creature source damage is prevented this way, the sources controller takes that much damage. Which really, that doesn't happen so often anymore. Nobody's really playing any big fireballs or disintegrates or banefires anymore. Even banefire, that's just not as popular as it used to be. Land. Why is that backwards? Friction Metamorph, 3, 2 life, 1 blue, whatever you want. Comes into play, copy of creature artifact, and if it copies a creature, it's still an artifact. It becomes an artifact copy of that creature. A lot of utility in this, so I keep them. And plus, it can be cheaper to cast, just pay a 2 life. Land. There's the Sheldon Soul Ring by Lindsay Look. I originally thought this is Donato Giancola, but apparently it's not. Oh, that's gorgeous. I like the filigree on the sleeves. Beautiful. Land. Power Stone Minefield, another minefield. 2 run, 1 red, 1 white. Whenever creature attacks or blocks, it takes 2 damage. So, with the thing is, it's only 2 damage. Now, it stops token armies for a little while, but the instant they become 3/3s, this stops having that much of an effect. I need to think about this. I need to think about this in context of the deck. What does it really do for me? Oh yeah, Vishin Heretic. 2 in a red for a 1/3 Vishin. He's a lizard. It says creature lizard. He's not an artificer. He's not a wizard. He's just a lizard. I think that's a lost. He should have been at least an artificer. Excuse me. 1 in red, blow up an artifact in somebody's face. So you blow up an artifact and the controller takes damage equal to its mana cost. Insta-blocker creator. I've got this in here so I can create an insta-blocker. So if somebody's attacking me, I ain't got nothing because I don't play that many creatures in this deck. So 1 red tap, I can create a 0-wood chump. Now, if they have trample that's attacking, then I might as well not even bother. But let's say they're attacking with, what's something big and nasty that... Yes, Questing Beast. They're attacking me with Questing Beast. No, I can't block Questing Beast with the 0/1 Kobold. What is something... Anyway, I think you get the idea. They're attacking me with something big and nasty, doesn't have trample, so I can create an instant chump, block it, and survive. Misfoe Plains. Land. 1 white tap. Put target card in graveyard in the bottom of the library so you can refind it with Sunforger. This is really a combo card with Sunforger. So let's say I play Comeuppets. End of turn, I can put it back on the bottom of my library. And if Sunforger is in play, I can re-equip Sunforger, and then I can find it again if I need to. Repercussion. Oh, this is nasty in the deck. This is one of the kill cards. This is what I'm setting up to do. So I've killed myself with this. I've made the game a draw. So I had Repercussion, 1 double red. Whenever creature is dealt damage, Repercussion deals that much damage to the creature's controller. So I had 26 life. I had 2 creatures. I had Repercussion. And I'm looking at the Blasphemous Act in my hand. And everybody else had a lot of creatures. So I said, fuck it. I cast Blasphemous Act. Because of Repercussion, when my 2 creatures took their 13 points of damage each, I died. But it because all my opponents had a lot of creatures and not so much life because the game had been going on for a few turns. They all died too, so we all died at the same time. And I thought that was funny. They didn't think it was funny, but they appreciated it, that there was no hard feelings. It's like, okay, we're all dead. Actually, I think Baby Issue was laughing about it because it's the kind of thing he would do. Blind Obedience, 1 in a white, extort. Artifacts creatures your opponents control into the battlefield tapped. This slows things down. This also makes it so with... Let's go back to the Crone War. So you turn your next turn, creatures your opponent's control attack each combat of Fable. So if they play creatures during that turn, they will be untapped, right? But Blind Obedience says they come into play tapped, not untapped, and then they'll punch themselves in the face. Plus the extort, life gain. Maybe something I don't need, but it is a way of slowing things down a bit. Reflect damage, 3, 1 red, 1 white. Redirect all damage dealt by any one source to that source's controller. I am just waiting. I am just keeping this in here for somebody to fucking blasphemous act and me to redirect all the damage into their face. Let's see, there's 20 creatures in the battlefield and they blasphemous act. So that's 260 points of damage. Reflect it right up your ass. Burn! That'll hurt. Hasn't happened yet, but I like thinking about it. Promise of Loyalty, 4 and a white. Each player puts a vow counter on a creature they control and sacks the rest. Each of those creatures can attack you or planeswalker you control for as long as it has a vow counter on it. So this is a way of getting around indestructible, getting around any sort of, well, pretty much indestructible, because the creatures are sacrificed. They're not destroyed. They're not dealt damage, any kind of protection. This gets it around it. They are sacrificed, so they go away. That's why this is in here and not something like Wrath of God. That, and also it's colorless mana. Yes, it's 1 more. It's 5, not 4 for Wrath of God, but it's easier to cast in this deck. Stormkiln Artist, 3 in a red for a 2/2 Dwarf Shaman. Gets +1/+1 for all of my artifacts. Big deal. But whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, create a treasure token. That's why he's in here. And that's why I need to pump up the instants and sorceries to make it so I get more treasures. But is there something better I could be doing? I need to think about him too. Rogue's Passage. So if I get Sheldon out, he's going to start attacking, and sometimes somebody has some big nasty things to block him. So I can Rogue's Passage and get him through. Yeah, I know, heuristic study. Everybody loves to either play this card or complain about this card. There's really no middle ground. 2 and a blue, whenever an opponent casts a spell, you tax them. If they do not pay the 1 mana tax, you get to draw a card. Later in the game, this stops working because they've got enough mana that they don't care. They just pay the 1. And it's not slowing them down so much because they have so much mana anyway. So I'm thinking I might take this out for Smuggler Share. Smuggler Share has the same CMC, 2 colorless, but 1 white. Whenever an opponent draws an additional card, you draw a card. I think it only triggers once per turn. I can't remember. And there's another effect. I think whenever an opponent plays a land, you get a treasure token. So I've ordered one. I forget the exact wording because I don't own any other copy, so I ordered my first one. It should come in this week. And I'm thinking of replacing Rhystic Study with that card with Smuggler Share. The other effect it will have is it will take a Game Changer out of this deck. Not that this deck is bracket 4 anyway. But then I can put in another Game Changer if I wanted to. So that's what I'm thinking. Maybe I'll take out Rhystic Study for Smuggler Share. But as with the Deaf Duelist, not the Deaf Duelist. What is that guy? The Stunt Double. It will be a 1-for-1 with the card that's coming in, that's inbound. Land. This is really good at the Chrono War. A lot of times I'll just, for a couple turns, just put the Chrono War back on top of my library and recast and draw it. Which is another reason I need more card draw, because this chokes your draw. If you're only drawing 1 card per turn, this chokes it out. So you're not seeing new cards. 1 in a white tab. Target enchantment card from graveyard tab to library. Yeah, Mystic Monastery. Earliest Fury. One of our housemates was saying I should take this out. That this is not a good card in this deck. And he recommended... What did he recommend? Let me look it up right quick. Let's see.
So the food is...
Okay, yeah, I'll be there in a minute. God damn it. There we go. I had to exit full screen for this, you know. When Max jumped up, he hit the keyboard and poof, full screen. So what did this guy say? Okay, this is Frederick Cobiondi. Frederick Cobiondi. Okay, so he take away Release Fury because he said it's not a very good card for the mana cost. And as far as so what does it do? 1 red, 1 white to get it started, and then X deals X damage divided any way you choose among any number. There's none of this splitting it in half like with Fireball. None of that bullshit. None of this paying extra for X target. You just make, let's say you do it for 6. So you can do 1 point of damage to 6 things, 3 points of damage, however you want. 4 points of damage to one thing, 2 points to another. It's perfect. And you tap each opponent dealt damage this way, and creatures dealt damage this way cannot cast on creature spells this turn. So it's kind of like Orm's Chant. And the creatures become tapped, so they can't attack. And if you've got a Crowan War coming up, then they're also subject to that. So he's recommending I do Twin Flame. Whatever the hell that is. What is Twin Flame? Twin Flame plus Dual Caster Mage. Twin Flame sounds like it's expensive. Let's see what that does. Let's see. Twin Flame is a sorcery. 1 in a red. And it costs 2 in a red more to cast reach target. Choose any number of target creatures you control for each of them. You put a copy. Okay, Frederick, I think you're missing the entire point of the deck. If I do Twin Flame and I copy Dual Caster Mage, I need something going on that's creating damage. That doesn't replace Aurelia's Fury at all. This is a finisher. I've finished people. I've killed people. They've gotten down to 5 life, and in the turn I burn them out with Aurelia's Fury. So I'm not really sure if you are seeing the purpose of the card correctly. In fact, I'm pretty sure you're not. I'm still open to the conversation. I still want to talk to you about it. Get your ideas. I mean, that's what this is for. So let me know if you're thinking something else, because if I just copy Dual Caster Mage, something has to be doing damage in order for me to finish somebody off. I need someone to get started. I was thinking Banefire, but this is an instant and has other abilities, other effects. So that's the deck. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 Sunforger targets. I should probably put in a couple more. Maybe some red direct damage. I need to think about that because, of course, the 4 mana limitation. Keep in mind that Boral's Fury Shield is not really a good target because I want to cast it so I get that additional utility. So I need to think about that. Lands, let's see. So trail lands here, colorless lands here, and then everything else there, colorless. Colorless. And then dual lands, for lack of a better term. Let's see what I've got. colorless, colorless. Well, no, this will hurt me, but the potential is there. Why not? It's essentially dual end because it will find one. I know it's not exact, but it'll work that way. Colorless, monocolor, tricolor. Let's see what we've got. So we have 5 lands. We have 4 lands that directly produce 1 mana of any color I need, and 1 that could. We've got 1, 2, 3 blue-red, 1, 2, 3 red-white, 1, 2, 3, 4 blue-white. Do they have a prairie stream for enemy colors yet? I don't know. I don't think so. I should put just glue something there so he stays. Okay, let's look at the blue first. Islands. How many blue sources do I have? Because remember, with the Sanctuary, I need 3 other islands. So 6. 6. 6. Okay, so they're evenly spaced. So far, the mana is balanced pretty much between the colors. And then utility lands. So I'll take a look at the pips later. I don't want to have this go 2 hours. And then this is what I'll consider taking out. I've already pretty much decided, well, Days Undoing, I'll leave in. Elixir for Immortality, I'll replace with Echo of Eons. And these other cards, I just have to think about it. I have to think about what I want to do, what the deck is trying to do, and then go from there. And as always, your suggestions are very welcome. But please keep in mind what I'm trying to do. And if you recommend a card, you have to recommend what I would take out for it. And if you recommend a card, a cut, know what that card is supposed to be doing. Know why it's in there. Alright, that's what we're going to do today is take a look at Ruhan Minari, my Jujutsu You Did This to Yourself deck. I've made too many changes lately that didn't consider the holistic play pattern of the deck. Let me change the light.